starts right now.
A family of 6 missing one member tonight. We explain how a beloved dad lost his life and where that suspect is right now.
It's been 6 days and the Bastrop wildfire is still burning. Why the Bastrop County judge says this should have never happened in the first place.
And tax season almost here. Why you should start filing now to avoid possible headaches and delays in the future.
But first, a San Antonio motorcyclist never made it home this morning after being killed in a hit-and-run crash.
That man has been identified by his family as Mariano Lugo. He was only 30 years old.
The person responsible for causing the crash still at large tonight.
The Night Team's Japhanie Gray caught up with Mariano's family as they mourn together this afternoon.
Amazing, with a big, big smile. Amazing.
That's how Esperanza Lugo described her nephew, 30-year-old Mariano Lugo, a man who loved his family and who loved to help others.
Especially to the community and the bike club that he was in.
Mariano also loved riding his motorcycle, but sadly, Sunday morning would be his last ride after he was killed in a crash at the intersection of South Cross Boulevard and Interstate 35. San Antonio police say Mariano was riding his Suzuki through a green light when this Honda Accord allegedly drove through a red light, causing him to crash into the driver's side of the car. His injuries so severe, he was pronounced dead at BAMC.
It was very hard. It was very hard because he always came out with a smile. He was always so happy.
Mariano leaves behind his wife and 4 children.
It's sad right now the dad and the mom are not doing well. The kids, they were so attached to him. And right now the son, he's so much crying.
A small memorial now sits at the site of the crash as the family waits for justice to be served.
So sad for them to just take off and leave somebody there. It's, just tragic. It's very tragic. We're going to find out. We're going to catch them. We're going to find out who they are, who they were.
Japhanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
Now, if caught, the suspect in this case could face a charge of failure to stop and render aid causing death. Mariano's motorcycle club, the Block Stars, planning a candlelight vigil this Wednesday at 7 p.m. It'll be held at the crash site at South Cross and I-35 and will be open to the public.
A shooting in the middle of the street near River Center Mall, and now one person is in custody. San Antonio police say it all started with a dispute between 2 women. It happened just before 8 a.m. on Commerce Street outside of the River Center Mall. At some point, the 2 women and one of their boyfriends moved locations near that Denny's in front of the Marriott Hotel. That's where police say the boyfriend allegedly started firing shots. No one was hit, but police did find several shell casings in that area and recovered the weapon. After a brief search, police were able to locate the man and take him into custody on previous warrants.
Termination could be in the future for one BCSO deputy who was facing a DWI charge tonight. 27-year-old Rolando Garza, arrested this morning by San Antonio police. He is assigned to the detention bureau at BCSO. Officials say he will be placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. Details of what led up to his arrest not provided quite yet. Garza's bond set at $8,000. He's been with the department since 2017.
While the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office works to identify a man killed in a shooting, San Antonio police are still looking for the suspect. The incident happened just after 4 a.m. on East Skyview, not far from Bandera and Callahan Roads. Police believe the man got into an altercation with another driver, which resulted in them both allegedly firing at each other. When police arrived on scene, they found the man with multiple gunshot wounds lying next to a motorcycle. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
Meanwhile, another shooting, this one outside of a nightclub overnight, leaving 2 people injured. That shooting happened just before 1 a.m. on the St. Mary's Strip. San Antonio police say several people were walking to their car when the suspect in a truck allegedly started firing at them. One person was taken to BAMC with critical injuries, and later police say another shooting victim showed up at Methodist Metro Hospital. As of right now, police do not have a description of the shooter in this case.
A family of 4 recovering tonight after a rollover crash landed them in an embankment outside a hotel on the north side. The crash happened this afternoon outside an extended stay hotel near Highway 281 and Evans Road. San Antonio police say they were backing out of a parking spot when the driver said the SUV brakes failed. As a result, the SUV went through an iron fence and rolled down the embankment. A woman had a hip injury and a 5-year-old had a cut on the head. They were both taken to a nearby hospital for treatment.
An update now on that Bastrop County wildfire. It is still burning tonight. However, officials say they almost have it out. The Texas A&M Forest Service says that fire now 95% contained. So far, 812 acres of land have been burned. That wildfire sparked from a controlled burn on Tuesday near Bastrop State Park. 150 households were evacuated at one point, but they've all been allowed to return home. On Friday, the Bastrop County judge released a statement on the fire, which stated the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department never got the county's permission for that prescribed burn. And he hopes to get a full account of why that fire got out of control. To read the judge's full statement, just head over to KSAT.com.
All right, taking a look outside with live cam tonight. Not much has changed since earlier in the day. It's still cloudy out there and cool. Temperatures still holding steady in the 50s, but we will see some changes kick in overnight. While we're sleeping, scattered rain will fill in across the area, and that's going to set us up for potentially a messy start somewhat tomorrow morning, and you may need to factor in a few more minutes to your Monday morning commute. Coming up, we'll talk about our rain chances filtering in overnight and tomorrow. Also, our drought situation, how this rain chance will help us out just a little bit, but it won't be all the rain we need. I'll also walk you through potential rainfall totals tonight through tomorrow, let you know how much you could pick up in your backyard. All that and more coming up in just a bit. Courtney.
Thank you, Katie. Tonight, the first responder community is in mourning yet again after a Harris County Precinct 5 constable was killed in the line of duty. It happened on the southwest side of Houston. The night team's Lee Waldman reports it was a traffic stop gone tragically wrong.
Houston first responders held each other tightly in the early hours Sunday, one of their own not returning home.
Charles Galloway, a 12-and-a-half-year veteran with Precinct 5, who is also a field training officer, a corporal was his rank, was brutally murdered.
During a press conference, Houston PD say Corporal Galloway had pulled over a white Toyota Avalon around 12:45 a.m. when a man got out of the car and allegedly started shooting immediately.
This is senseless. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Houston Police Chief Troy Finner says the suspect drove off. Corporal Galloway never got out of his vehicle or pulled his gun. He died at the scene.
These are not assaults. These are not attacks. These are brutal murders.
In a statement, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick shared his condolences for Galloway's daughter and sister and said in part, quote, "The continued violence against law enforcement must end and respect for law enforcement must be restored," unquote.
We better get intentional, damn intentional, about locking up violent individuals and leaving them.
Tonight, Houston Police Department is leading this investigation. They're working with the Constable's Office, the Harris County District Attorney's Office, and others to bring justice for Galloway's family.
What we are seeing on what appears to be a regular basis on the streets of Harris County has got to stop. It has got to stop.
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Taking a look now at the latest COVID numbers here in Bexar County. 3,893 new cases to report tonight. That brings the 7-day moving average to more than 5,000. The hospitalization rate still high. Right now, 1,259 people are hospitalized tonight, with 263 in the ICU and 125 on ventilators. This week, the Biden administration is making 400 million N95 masks available to U.S. residents. The White House says 3 masks will be made available for each person at pharmacies and community and health centers. This all coming as our country starts to see a silver lining. Health officials say there's an average of about 726,000 new cases every day, but that's down about 10% in just the last week. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's confident most states will reach a peak of Omicron cases by mid-February.
Things are looking good. We don't want to get overconfident, but they look like they're going in the right direction right now.
Meanwhile, some states in the Northeast and upper Midwest are already seeing declines in their numbers, but cases still rising in southern and western states. In addition, demand for testing is on the rise as companies continue to deal with supply chain issues.
To help ease the demand in rural areas, there's a mobile testing site opening in Seguin this week. Here's what you need to know. It opens tomorrow and Tuesday at the Patricia K. Irvine King Pavilion. That's located on River Drive East in Seguin. Testing will be available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You don't have to show symptoms to get tested, and there is no registration required. Keep in mind, this is a first-come, first-served basis, so be sure to plan ahead. For details on other testing locations throughout San Antonio and the surrounding areas, head to KSAT.com.
Happening this week, it's time to find all those old receipts, break out the aspirin, because it's tax time again. The IRS will begin accepting personal tax returns tomorrow. And it could end up being a bigger headache than usual this year. The Night Team's Garrett Berger joins us now in the newsroom with what you need to know.
Well, Tim, the Associated Press reports a variety of issues are at play that could slow things down this year. An IRS worker shortage, a heavy workload from administering pandemic-related programs, and legislation that would have given the IRS more money to help process returns faster has stalled. Now, the tax agency, the AP reports, is still working through last year's tax returns. So to make sure you get your return as quickly as possible this year, the IRS recommends filing electronically. If you do that and choose to get your refund through direct deposit and there's no issues with your return, the IRS expects you'll get your refund within 3 weeks. Here are some other things to watch out for filing for 2021, though. If you got advance payments on the child tax credit this past year, the AP notes your tax refund may end up being smaller than previous years. You'll also still need to file a tax return to get the other half of that credit. You can check how much you've already received through the IRS website. Meanwhile, if you were eligible to get the latest stimulus check and didn't, you may be able to claim a recovery rebate credit on your return. You can check out if you're eligible for that also through the IRS website. Now, the filing deadline the past 2 years was extended out into July. At least for now, though, the deadline this year is April 18th. Live in the newsroom, I'm Garrett Berger for KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. Well, it's a new year, which means it's time for the San Antonio Riverwalk to be drained for maintenance. That process started today, and it's expected to last through next Sunday. City officials say the draining is vital to ensure the river stays clean from debris or items that have fallen in it. And during this time, the Go Rio cruises will not operate downtown or in the Museum Reach areas. The end Alamo Street between Market and Commerce Streets will be closed to vehicles and pedestrians. A recent fatal shooting where an NYPD officer died, sparking a bigger conversation about guns, why the New York mayor wants the government to get involved. Plus, the Winter Olympics is just 2 weeks away and prep work is underway in Beijing. The latest on Omicron there and how officials are not letting it affect the upcoming competition.
And the fallout from the deadly January 6th Capitol riot has not stopped. Tonight, we are learning the committee handling the investigation spoke with former Attorney General William Barr. A breakdown of what we know next. Many would say one of the many things former Attorney General Bill Barr is known for is defending former President Donald Trump during his tenure and resigning after publicly rebuking Trump's false election claims.
Now we're learning he's been addressed as part of the January 6th investigation. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details.
The chairman of the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol telling CBS former President Trump's Attorney General William Barr has spoken to the panel.
We've had conversations with the former Attorney General already.
ABC's Jonathan Karl reported several months ago that Barr said he investigated Trump's false claims about widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election.
If I found something, I had no motive to suppress it. But my suspicion all the way along was that there was nothing there. It was all.
Barr resigned just weeks before Trump left office after publicly stating he found no evidence of widespread voter fraud. The committee is now looking through hundreds of pages of Trump administration documents from the National Archives after the Supreme Court rejected the former president's efforts to stop their release.
We'll see what those documents present to us in terms of direction. We'll see if that information leads us to additional individuals to make requests.
Among those documents, a draft executive order that would have empowered the defense secretary to seize voting machines and appoint a special counsel to investigate voter fraud. It's unclear who drafted the order, but the details are consistent with proposals Attorney Sidney Powell and retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn made to the president in December of 2020. The committee is also asking the National Archives for video outtakes of President Trump's message to the nation as the riot at the Capitol was unfolding. And the panel is focusing on the Trump family, obtaining phone records from Eric Trump and requesting an interview with the president's daughter, Ivanka. The select committee chair also telling CBS public hearings are expected sometime in the spring. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Had a gray and gloomy Sunday, but I'm okay with that if it leads to a little bit of rain.
Yeah, we're hoping for at least that little bit that we've been talking about.
Yeah, and there's already some showing up on radar out west, closer to Del Rio and Eagle Pass, and that will gradually fill in overnight. So some good news in the forecast here. Let's take a look back at today, the almanac and the time lapse. Time lapse, not much to see. Things stayed gray all day long, and that kept our temperatures from fluctuating very much. We started off at 47 this morning, didn't even warm up 10 degrees into the afternoon. Our high was only 56, and no rain out of the extensive cloud cover today, but that will be changing overnight through tomorrow morning. This rain is much needed, and unfortunately, I'll just tell you right out the gate, it's not going to be all the rain that we need because our drought situation has really ramped up here over the past few months. And in fact, as of this week, we've got a larger swath now of extreme drought down to the southwest from Dimmitt County through LaSalle and McMullen counties, and fairly extensive, at the very least, moderate drought, especially along and west of 35. So we really need some rain, and we'll get some tonight and tomorrow morning, but our window is going to be fairly short. So let's look ahead to tomorrow after midnight. So here in a couple hours, radar will start to fill in more with some light rain showers, and then we'll see our rainfall coverage peak early tomorrow. That will go hand in hand with the Monday morning commute. And then after lunchtime on Monday, we'll start to peel back the rain chances. So it's really just the first half of the day on Monday when rain chances will be highest. We'll even squeeze in some sun tomorrow afternoon. Currently 46 in Rock Springs, 57 in Cotulla, and 54 here in San Antonio. Right now, we're reading our radar site closer to New Braunfels. Extensive cloud cover, but not a lot of rain showing up. But when we switch over to our other radar site near Bracketville, you'll notice we've got some light showers moving in from the west, approaching places like Del Rio, even some showers across the northern tier of Maverick County there. This is what will continue to kind of fill in and expand in coverage as we head into the overnight hours past midnight. So what's spurring this nice change of pace here for us in terms of rain chances? Well, we've got a nice little upper level low pressure system, or a cutoff low because it's cut off from the rest of the jet stream. This is sitting kind of right over El Paso currently, and this will move overhead very quickly tonight, first part of the day tomorrow. So this will be in and out very quickly, and that's why we don't have a very big window for rain chances. Through tomorrow morning, some rain here, and then this disturbance by this time tomorrow night will be pushing off into the deep south, and our rain chances will have come to an end. So with this quick hitting disturbance, that limits how much rain we can pick up. I want to come in a little bit closer here and show you areas east of 35 have the best chance to see anywhere between a half inch and an inch of rain. Those will likely be our highest totals. So places like Seguin, even over to Gonzales, Hallettsville, Cuero, DeWitt County there, you guys have the best chance to pick up a little bit more rain. Back toward 35, Comal County, Bexar County, San Antonio, Pleasanton. It's looking more like a half inch of rain or less, down to about a quarter inch, and then well west of 35. You guys looking like kind of the short end of the stick here, likely less than a quarter inch of rain, and that just kind of adds insult to injury because where we really need the rain, where we have that swath of extreme drought, that's where unfortunately we're likely going to see some of the lower totals. So not the ideal situation for us here, but we'll take any rain we can get at this point. Here's Futurecast through the overnight hours, 2 a.m. We're going to start to see more of these light rain showers fill in all across the area, so everyone has a chance to see some rain, but we're likely going to have a slightly higher coverage and maybe some heavier pockets east of the interstate, and that's why totals will be a bit higher there. Here's 6 a.m. Scattered rain continues through the morning commute, through mid to late morning. As we get closer to lunchtime, notice it has come to an end west of 35, and then it will really pull east of I-35 after lunch tomorrow. Rain will come to an end from west to east. We'll also see our skies clear out tomorrow afternoon from west to east, so we should get a decent amount of sun in tomorrow afternoon, depending on how fast those clouds clear out. So tomorrow, we'll kind of split it in half for you here. A bit rainy to start. Rain chances wrap up after lunchtime, some clearing into the second half of the day. Rest of the week, pretty quiet. We've got a couple of fronts that will move through. They're not terribly strong, but they'll help to keep us cool this week with our highs in the 50s. I do not have a freeze in the forecast until Friday night, so still several days away, guys.
Gonna have to find out where my KSAT rain jacket is.
I have mine always on my at my desk, so I'm ready.
A lot of jackets. All right, Greg will be along with a preview of Instant Replay right after this. There will be a new Super Bowl champ this season after what happened on upset weekend in the NFL playoffs. With more on that and what's on Instant Replay tonight, let's check in with our Greg Simmons. Oh my goodness, what a great weekend of football.
How about the game between Buffalo and Kansas City? If you're a Buffalo fan, yay!
Crazy.
Oh, yay! Oh. And not one, but two number one seeds knocked out in the NFL postseason. Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
3rd and 20. Stafford going for it all. He's got a wide open man. It's Cooper Kupp who gets free. And Kupp rolls all the way to the end zone.
At one point today, the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers were down 27-3 at the Los Angeles Rams, only to come back and tie the game with 27-0 with just 42 seconds left. How in the world did the Rams pull off the win with no time on the clock to advance in the NFC Championship game? We will show you.
Kick was down the middle and good! 49ers win it!
And that's where the Rams will host the San Francisco 49ers, who pulled off two major upsets to get to the conference final. First by knocking out the Dallas Cowboys, and then last night stunning the Green Bay Packers, also on the road.
The toss. Singletary.
Gonna spin around. Bills are there. End zone.
And Pringle is there.
And the last team in the NFL's Final Four leading up to the Super Bowl 56 determined tonight as Kansas City Chiefs hosted the Buffalo Bills. This one went to overtime. We'll have all the highlights tonight. All that plus the Spurs hosting the Sixers tonight to end their 7-game homestand, one-on-one with Mario Barrios. And who more than likely will return to their team next year? Aaron Rodgers with the Packers or Tom Brady with the Buccaneers? Kind of up in the air. Tonight you decide. Instant Replay is live and is right after the Nightbeat. What a weekend of football.
I don't see how any Super Bowl matchup tops that Bills-Chiefs game.
Not even close.
Great stuff. Thanks, Greg. We'll see you again in a little bit, and we'll see you right after this.
A shooting in New York leaves a police officer dead and another critically wounded when they responded to a domestic dispute.
Yeah, that makes 5 officers shot since the beginning of the new year. Just part of the violence seen since the new mayor took office. And now he's asking for help.
This morning, a call for federal assistance from the nation's largest city.
We're doing our job in NYPD. How do we stop this if the federal government does not stop the flow of guns in this city?
Mayor Eric Adams likening the escalating gun violence to another crisis in his city.
We need to collaborate with city, state, and federal entities the way we did during 9/11 to fight terrorism. We have to fight the crimes on our street.
That plea coming just a day after NYPD lost one of its own. Police say 3 officers responded to a domestic violence call in Harlem Friday night when 47-year-old LaShawn McNeil, who had been fighting with his mom, refused to come out of a back bedroom. NYPD officer Jason Rivera approached. Police say McNeil opened fire. Rivera, just 22 years old, was killed. His partner, 27-year-old Wilbert Mora, shot in the back of the head and remains in critical condition. The third officer, also a rookie, returned fire, hitting McNeil, who is now hospitalized. Officers say they recovered the gun that they believe McNeil used to shoot the officers, this Glock with a high-capacity magazine that could hold up to 40 rounds. The gun allegedly stolen from Baltimore in 2017.
That particular gun, there's no other reason why he has one than to commit a crime.
According to police sources, McNeil is believed to have behavioral problems and posted anti-government and anti-police material on social media. Rivera and Mora are the 4th and 5th officers in New York City shot in the line of duty in just the first 3 weeks of the year. In an essay given to his commander in 2020 called Why I Became a Police Officer, Rivera wrote, "I know that something as small as helping a tourist with directions or helping a couple resolve an issue will put a smile on someone's face."
And Mayor Adams also points out that there are no gun manufacturers in New York, yet there are still so many guns there. That's why he wants the government's help to stop the flow of what he calls illegal guns coming into the city.
Today, China is in full Winter Olympic mode as they prep for the competition that's just about 2 weeks away. From then on, the Beijing 2020 Games Time Operations Command Center will operate 24 hours a day, directly coordinating the operations of each venue during the Games. However, Omicron still poses a threat to the event. At least 72 positive COVID-19 cases have been registered in China among personnel related to the Olympics, all of them non-athletes, according to officials. In the meantime, the committee will put an emphasis on the transportation, accommodation, and catering for athletes, while also giving priorities to security operations and epidemic prevention. The 3 Olympic villages will officially open January 27th, a week before the Games start.
Biden administration sources have confirmed the U.S. State Department is preparing to approve the evacuation of some American diplomats and their families from the embassy in Ukraine. The move could allow non-emergency staff to leave, suggesting the U.S. believes the threat of a major Russian attack is worsening. It comes as Russia continues to mass troops around Ukraine, over 100,000 estimated on the Ukraine border. Moscow and Belarus both deny they plan to attack Ukraine. President Biden meeting with his national security team at Camp David Saturday to discuss the situation.
We don't know right now whether this is an elaborate bluff or Putin is truly serious about invading Ukraine.
The most important thing that President Biden has been doing is to deter Putin from invading Ukraine. He has pulled together our NATO allies.
Meanwhile, the British government overnight claiming to have intelligence Russia is plotting to install a pro-Russian leader in Ukraine. The British allegations naming several former Ukrainian politicians allegedly recruited in that scheme. Russia dismissing it all as nonsense.
A new episode of KSAT Explains out Tuesday night, and this week's episode all about esports. If you have any questions about this relatively new industry or why you should care, be sure to tune in. Here is Myra Arthur with a preview.
Playing video games is something that most people consider just a pastime, a hobby, or even unproductive.
Personally, when I was young, my parents didn't like me playing video games. And I told my parents, this could get me somewhere.
That somewhere could turn out to be lucrative. The realm of esports is still new, but the top players are already getting big name endorsements and even bigger cash prizes. High schools are launching esports programs. Universities are beginning to offer scholarships.
In the last 10 years, we went from pretty much no scholarships, no space, no internships, no jobs.
Now there's, scholarship money up for grabs. There's cash prizes up for grabs, and that's a pretty big incentive.
And companies are actively scouting esports athletes for jobs in the tech field.
If you look at our aerospace customers, robotics, cybersecurity, even the military missions, they are all looking at esports and gaming as a new area to find, recruit, retain talent.
San Antonio is part of this new trend. In this episode of KSAT Explains, we're taking a look at what San Antonio is doing to become a player in this new arena, plus the potential benefits of esports to student athletes, the professional players, and the city itself.
That explains esports in San Antonio will be available to stream on demand this Tuesday. We'll live stream the episode at 7 p.m. on KSAT.com and KSAT's Facebook page. But if you can't watch it live, we'll post the full episode so you can watch on demand later Tuesday evening.
Alrighty, taking another look outside with live cam. Not much to see here. It is still gray and cloudy out there. But if we take a trip a couple hours to the west, there is some rain showing up on our radar site near Bracketville. This activity is going to fill in over the rest of the area overnight, setting us up for a somewhat rainy start to the day tomorrow. Here are these showers moving in from the west across places like Del Rio down to Eagle Pass. And again, they'll continue to fill in overnight. So after midnight, that's when we start to pick up higher rainfall coverage, and our rain chances will peak early tomorrow morning. Again, you may need a little extra time for the Monday morning drive, and then rain chances sharply fall off after lunchtime on Monday. If you missed it last half hour, I'll walk you through Futurecast for your Monday so you know exactly what to expect. That's coming up in just a little bit. Tim?
Thank you, Katie. The last 2 weekends featured 2 different box office champions, and the same 2 movies squared off again for this weekend's title. See who won, the Spider or the Ghostface.
The ghost face. And Adele virtually surprises some fans in Vegas, but ends up getting a surprise in return. We'll explain more after the break.
All right, this is Not Easy on Me. Singing superstar Adele reaching out to her surprised fans to say hello on FaceTime and tearfully apologizing for rolling in the deep as she had to cancel her Las Vegas shows at the 11th hour. Oh my God, those were all songs.
Look at you go, Tim. Some people are understanding, but some say it is not enough. I just can't even believe you did that. ABC's Doreen Shaw has the details. You did Google that, didn't you?
Oh my gosh, hi. This morning, pop superstar Adele surprising fans, greeting them on FaceTime. I'm really sorry I'm not there. After abruptly postponing her Vegas residency.
Adele actually reached out to my twin sister on Twitter and direct messaged her to go to Caesar's Palace at 6 p.m.
That gift for fans she reached out to for a surprise call.
The shows will be rescheduled and we'll announce it ASAP. And like I said, you get first honors whether you refund your tickets or not.
I still can't believe that I was on a FaceTime call with her.
The FaceTime came after Adele announced to her nearly 50 million Instagram followers Thursday she had to postpone her residency.
We've been absolutely destroyed by delivery delays and COVID.
Weekends with Adele sold out for 24 performances in mere hours. Many fans heading to Vegas when they found out the show was no longer on.
The flight literally took off, and it was like in a span of 15 minutes that we found out on our flight that the show is canceled. So I was frustrated.
A moment of devastation for many. One user tweeting, extremely disappointed and flew from another country and spent a lot to see her. Another saying this could have been postponed in early January and saved people time and money. But crisis experts say Adele made the right call.
Anything was better than doing a show she wasn't proud of, and her fans will forgive her.
Where are you guys from?
We're from New York.
Some fans heading to Caesars for sing-alongs, browsing at a pop-up shop when Adele's team pulled fans aside.
I'm sad, but it's opening night, so I'm letting myself be sad.
I could offer you a warm embrace. And just to see her reaction when we started singing, that just brought me joy. I'm like, we made Adele smile.
You feel my love. All right, so going to an Adele show, pretty expensive, but making your idol smile, possibly priceless. Many fans saying that they will go back to Adele's show in a heartbeat when it's ready. Doreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Tim's learning the names of Adele songs. Rain is on the way. It's a good night, folks. It's a good night.
What's happening?
What's happening? I'm so happy about both of these things.
That was great, Tim. I thought that script was written for you.
No, I did that on the fly.
That's amazing.
Just for the shock factor.
I was debating myself during the commercial whether to do it.
That's
there
amazing.
You go.
Amazing.
He doesn't actually know the songs, though, so that's the next step.
Okay, you know what else is weird? So that was two things. Right now, it's colder in Miami than it is here.
What?
Well, that's something cool.
Yeah, only by 3 degrees, but it still counts. Every degree counts. It's 51 in Miami right now, 43 in Orlando. Now, a big reason why it's colder there is they've got clear skies, a colder air mass moving in. We've got the clouds, so that's kept our temperatures from dropping off a whole lot. But look, right now, freezing in Tallahassee. It's going to be an unseasonably cold night across parts of Florida overnight. A lot of the state, especially the northern tier of the state, is expecting a freeze, and even the southern tier dropping down into the upper 30s, low 40s there, a low around 41 in Miami. So even through tomorrow morning, there will likely be some spots across South Florida that will be colder than we will be here at home, and a lot of the state is expecting some of the coldest air that they've had in 2 years. So that is very cold for Florida. Freeze warning in effect for the northern half of the state, and then even a frost advisory across mainly the southern half of Florida. Of course, they're concerned about their citrus crop and all that stuff. So also what you'll probably see a lot of, this is the time of year where the iguanas there in Florida, when it gets too cold, They get tense and then they fall out of the tree. But as it warms up, I hope someone caught that, my iguana impression. As it warms up, then the iguanas, they come back to life. The cold kind of shocks their system. So you'll probably see some of that on social media. Into tomorrow with that cold snap. Again, clear skies there, good radiational cooling setup. Big reason why their temperatures will bottom out. Across Florida, freezing. It'll be much colder there than it will be here tonight. Again, because we've got the cloud cover moving in and finally some rain to fall out of those clouds. It's been gray this weekend. No rain so far, but that does change overnight. There is an upper level low here that when you look at satellite and radar is not too impressive. It doesn't jump off the map here, but there's a piece of rain making energy sitting off to our west that moves overhead tonight and tomorrow morning, bringing us our chance of rain. So kind of 2 different days tomorrow. We'll kind of split it up by lunchtime. First part of the day, as everyone's heading out the door, we do expect scattered rain, overcast skies, and it'll be pretty chilly, temperatures in the 40s. As we get into the afternoon, kiddos heading home from school, skies will be clearing, rain will have come to an end, and our temperatures should be able to rebound into the mid to upper 50s. So still cool tomorrow, even as the sun tries to pop out in the afternoon. Here's a current look at radar. This isn't terribly impressive either. This little green specks here. These are the showers that are moving in from the west, and these are starting to make some eastward progress tonight. Again, after midnight, we'll start to see rainfall coverage really increase, and even more so through the morning commute tomorrow. So even by 2 a.m., we've got more of a scattering of some light showers across the area. By 6 a.m., scattered rain across the area with some pockets of heavy rain. I had a few questions this evening about any concern for thunderstorms. We may be able to pick up a few rumbles of thunder here or there tomorrow morning, but I think that will even be hard to come by. This is mainly just good old plain rain for us, and our ground is going to try to soak up as much as it can. Through 8 a.m., scattered rain mainly along and east of 35, and then as we get closer to lunchtime, rain is really going to start to come to an end along 35 and especially off to the west. After lunchtime, this will all move off closer to the Houston area, and again, we'll see our skies clear out from west to east into tomorrow afternoon. So rainiest part of the day by far is going to be in the morning hours. Again, this will not be as much rain as we need. Those of you off farther to the east, so anywhere from Seguin over to Gonzales down into Cuero, DeWitt County there, you have a better chance to see between a ½ inch and an inch of rain. A lot of us along I-35 likely looking at less than a ½ inch of rain, and then west of 35 likely less than a ¼ inch of rain. So that's not all we need, but we'll take what we can get at this point. One more look at your day tomorrow. Rainy through the early morning hours. Rain chances wrapping up in the afternoon and clearing in the afternoon as well. The rest of the week, we've got another low end rain chance Thursday, but overall cool this week with highs limited to the 50s and 60s, guys.
Well, at least we won't have to worry about iguanas falling from the trees.
That's
here.
true.
Although I would like to see what that looks like on your weather map with a graphic.
I'll see what I can do.
Terrifying is what it'll look like. We'll be right back.
Our ancestors, they were terrible people.
The King's Man stayed in 5th place, taking in $1.8 million. The Western romance Redeeming Love, based on the best-selling novel, debuted 4th with $3.7 million. Sing 2 made $5.7 million for 3rd place and a domestic total of $128 million. Scream dropped nearly 60% in its sophomore weekend, falling to 2nd place with $12.4 million.
Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Spider-Man No Way Home found its way back to the top, earning $14.1 million for a domestic total of $721 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Spidey for the win. Our San Antonio Spurs wrap up their 7-game homestand by hosting one of the beasts of the East tonight.
And San Antonio's own Mario Barrios preparing for his first fight since his first loss as a pro. We'll get you ready to climb into the ring with Warren What's an Instant Replay. Let's head over to Greg Simmons.
Training as we speak right now. The high school basketball season is in full swing. Who's hot? We'll run down the live games we have for you on the BGC app, courtesy of Texas Sports Productions. Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay. Our San Antonio Spurs closing out their 7-game homestand against one of the beasts of the East, the Philadelphia 76ers, tonight. Can the silver and black slow down Joel Embiid? And will DeJounte Murray pick up another triple-double? Who is hot this season in high school basketball? We will show you how you can watch live games on the BGC app. courtesy of Texas Sports Productions. We'll run down this week's schedule.
You know, Vegas is a huge boxing city. You know, there's plenty of sparring out here. There's plenty of scenic runs, you know, which is always one of my favorite things.
And San Antonio's own Mario Barrios is changing things up as he prepares for his first bout since his first loss of his professional career while moving up in weight class. We'll visit with El Azteca from Las Vegas as he continues training for his headline bout on February the 5th. And should the Cowboys part ways with Mike McCarthy as their head coach, it's one of the hot topics for the sports guys tonight. Instant Replay is live, and it's next, and we have plenty of those kind of topics tonight for you.
It is that time of year. Thank you, Greg.
We'll be right back.